Hi everybody, this is Gary Dean with Sentiment Timing, and this is our technical video report for Sunday, May 11th, 2025. Hope you guys are having a fantastic weekend. Pretty much a rain out here in Hilton Head, so it hasn't been all that much active. But anyway, let's get started. So Friday, we saw a little bit of backing and filling, nothing really major. It kind of caught me by surprise because I was really looking for strength, and I was looking for really, when we had this gap up in the morning, I was looking for the gap to get filled, and I kind of got trapped on that. So trade wise was not good. I first put on a Condor trade. We got stopped out of that on the downside, on the put side of it, and I closed the call side because I was still thinking that we were going to be heading higher towards the end of the day, and so we took a little bit of a loss on that. It was like $200 in the fund, and then it was just a couple other call options that I took trades in, and they ended up being minor losses. I think we had the $475 loss for the day, so nothing crazy, but really wasn't happy with the trading. Like I said, I was really anticipating that we were going to get a late day rally. Simply, I think because I didn't think people were not going to want to be long heading into the weekend with the talks with China, but obviously that was wrong. We just really took a little bit of a breather. So if we're taking a look at this pattern right here, this really does look like a bear flag. So that's suggesting that we are going to head lower before we head higher. And if we're just going to take a look at some possible pivots, you can see that we're at really the 23% retracement right here. The 38% is going to be right at the 56.11. You can see that's also some support right here. And then we also have the 56.23 as support. So the first line in the sand is going to be the 56.37. If we take that out, then we could get some kind of bounce right around the 56.23, but I would anticipate that we would probably get held down right here, and we would complete this pattern and really come down somewhere into the 56.11 and even down to the 5600. Now, if we need further backing and filling, obviously we have the full retracement of this right here that's coming in right around that 55.76 level. And if we take a look at the 60-minute chart, you can see we have the 50-day moving average that's right at the 56.28. So that coincides with our with support on the 15-minute moving average. And again, if that gets taken out, we have this support right at the full retracement, which is the 55.37, and then we have the 200-day that's sitting right at price support as well as the moving average, and pretty close to the 23% retracement. So if these lows get taken out, this is the area that I would be looking to buy. It would be anywhere from the 55.38 down to the 55.10. If it goes lower than that, then we're looking at the 54.58. But we have to just kind of wait and see how things open up on Monday. The news was a little bit positive out of with the talks with China. I don't know if that's really going to be that much of a market mover. Again, just looking for some backing and filling makes sense. I thought they were really going to try to pressure the bears and keep them pinned, but obviously that was wrong. We took a little bit of a hit on it. It was nothing major, but we have we're oversold right now on the 60-minute chart. So I'm really looking at this as any kind of dip down in these levels here would be a pretty good buying opportunity for people. And then we'll still be looking, maybe sometime next week we'd be looking for where we would get some kind of pause in the market or some backing and filling that would be a little bit deeper than what we've seen. I wouldn't be surprised to see us testing somewhere down, maybe closing the gap here at the 5300, and possibly even coming down to the 5170 and kind of doing a full retracement of this before heading higher. Now, the door is also open that we could come down and test the lows again that we made in April, but I'm just putting that on the side right now. What we want to do is look for some short-term support, see where it holds, and then look to get long. And then if that support is lost, that's when we can start shorting. But right now, the momentum is still on the side of the bulls, and I think you're as far as looking to fight it until we see support break and then used as resistance. I think it's just still a little bit risky, but it will come to a time when we're going to be looking where we'll be looking for a short trade, and it will probably, it's either going to be something that lasts into June, or it's going to just be really a choppy market back and forth. And so we're really going to be just killing time more than a decline, or we can have both. But I'm more on the side of seeing the range expand a little bit, and seeing it come anywhere from the range being at these lows here to these highs would make sense. Maybe it's a little bit less than that. We could see the range come down to the 54.38 and stay up at the 57. I still think we're coming up to these levels before we turn, but it would just be really an expanded range that where we're going up and down, which is if once it's identified, it's easy to trade because it's a little nail biting, because when you're at the bottom of the range, you're actually looking to buy, and usually momentum seems like it's going on the downside, and then when you're up top, you have to be looking to get out of your long positions and going short, and again, you're fighting the trend. So if it's the range is identified and it stays in place, you can put some stops in place and just trade the range, but we have to just wait for the range to start developing before we start looking for where the high and low will be. So right now, I mentioned with this high here that we had some bearish divergences. This isn't really that much of a pullback for it, but if we come down, let's say this bear flag plays out, you'd be looking for a move down to the 56.26, but more likely down to this 55.80 level, or possibly even down to the 55.35. So let's see what plays out tomorrow. Have a fantastic night, and I will talk to you guys in the morning.